I am now in my 8th decade. When I was younger, healthy, and longing to see the magnificence of the world of God's creation, my sights were set upon seeing scenes of breathtaking beauty, the sheer vastness and splendour of places such as the Rockies, a photographer's paradise. Things changed in 1974 when I became too unwell to go abroad. However, I was still able to drive, so obviously there was still great beauty in the mountains and lakes here within the British Isles. I was always fascinated by the reflections so often found in water, and the realization began to dawn that the most spectacular of reflections were often seen when the water was still, on the pond, on the lake, and the sea. This realization stayed with me over the years. Sadly, in 1993 I had to give up driving because of my ME. So once again my boundaries became smaller, though I was still able to walk and able to see everything through a camera lens. In 2005 I moved to Milford-on-Sea. I found that Sturt Pond, which was nearby me, was just within my boundaries for walking. But I continued to be amazed at God's creation, even though my boundaries had shrunk considerably. One December evening, I literally stood on one spot and watched the spectacular colours of a sunset, changing imperceptibly, but emphasised because the sun was setting over the pond. So it was like a double setting sun. Then came the final phase of my camera's journey, when in 2024 I developed a further physical problem and could hardly walk any distance or even stand for any length of time. I found myself sitting by a stream and was taught how to spot those smallest of creatures, damsel flies and dragonflies. I found to my amazement the challenge to take a reasonable photograph of these beautiful creatures was just as difficult as I had found when taking photos of the most magnificent of God's creations. The satisfaction was certainly equal, in fact I would say even greater, as the ability to be still and wait has become the most important part of this final stage of my camera journey through life. Such small moments, such tiny images, but how great always is the presence of God.